Cut your coat according to your size. The brightness of this day has given me the opportunity to bring you this video. Welcome back to my channel, Winging It with AC. My name is AC. So, Seram started school recently, and I feel like now I have earned the right to talk about school. So today I'm going to be talking about factors you should consider before choosing a school for your kid when they need to start school. Now, before Seram started school, even at the age of, I don't know, a few months, I kept asking people, what did you consider when you were choosing a school for your kid? Like, I was so consumed with that, I was so worried about it. I don't even know why, but I think it's also valid. So I jotted down a few things and I'm going to share that with you. My first and biggest factor is the cost of fees. Okay, and not just the cost of fees, but the additional costs that are included in the entire school system. So you go to school, how much is their term fees? Some of them have after school programs, and I don't know if some of them are actually, like, let's say, compulsory. And then, so how much is that going to cost you? Those who provide meals and snacks, the various meal options or snack options, how much is that going to cost you? Can you afford it? Okay, so I am going to scream this. Hear this as if I am screaming in your head. Cut your coat according to your size. Okay, don't go following people. Okay, so the fact that your best friend's kid, you guys have the kids around the same age, or you guys have kids and your best friend's kid is attending this particular school, maybe like it's a prestigious school and it's expensive or whatever, if you don't have the means, don't force for your kid to go there. Don't keep up appearances thinking that, oh, if I take my child to this school, to look like I don't have money, to look like I'm not part of a certain class. If the fact that your sister or your brother is taking their kids to a certain school doesn't mean that you also have to take your kids to that school if it's going to break your pockets. Okay, so you need to think about this. Can you afford it, if I should say comfortably? Not that school is about to start. Like, I mean, generally everywhere when school is about to start, money drains out of pockets, but you don't want it to be to the point where it is crippling you. You are, the last time when I did a live, Abna was talking about a colleague of hers who is taking her kid to a certain school, and literally all of her salary is going into their fees. That doesn't make any sense. So what are you saving? What money are you spending on the house? I mean, yeah, your upkeep and everything. That's not like, that shouldn't be all you spend your money on. There are good schools out there that are not so expensive. Okay, so find your level and don't feel like people will be judging you. And even if anybody judges you about the fact that, hey, you're not taking your kid to this school, your kid is not in this data B school and everything, they are getting an education, they're getting a good education, and that is what matters most. So check your pockets. Okay, check your pockets and make wise financial decisions. Okay, now the second factor I think that you should consider when you're choosing a school for your kid is the location of the school. Where is the school located in relation to home and work? Now, for me, I didn't want a school that would be out of the way from maybe like my way to work or the house, because it's like, I don't know how to explain this, but I've said this to people before. It's like assuming where you work is maybe an hour's drive from home. Okay, and so you found a school nearby your workplace, and that is where you drop off your kid for school. Weeks that maybe you are on leave and your kid has to go to school, which means you're still going to drive through traffic to go and drop off your kid. Or if the school it's like triangle, you have to go in this direction to go and drop off the kid, and then go in this direction to work. That's going to take a toll on you, because that's a lot of time in traffic and a lot of time spending on the road, you know. So I would say that find a school that is in a good, I don't know, like good in a good area or like relative to work and home. Okay, so if it is near home, then now when you're setting off from work, you setting off from home, you drop off the kid, you go to work. On your way back, you pick up your kid. It's not out of the way, it's on your way. So I feel like that is very convenient, at least for me. So that's one of the other things that I think that is important when choosing a school. Now, another factor that I think is important in considering when choosing a school for your kid is the school environment. Now, this is a pet peeve I have when I see schools that, and a lot of them have popped up over a few years ago, where you see this tall story building, that is the school. There's barely any space around the school. Where are the kids supposed to run? Kids are they have a lot of energy. They're supposed to expand or expand their energy. They're supposed to let go of the energy. They need to run around. So growing up, the two schools I attended, they had a huge compound, so there's so much space to run around. But you see a lot of schools nowadays, and it's like some 4 plots of land, and then they built a story building. That's the school. Where do the kids play? And everywhere is cemented. There should be grass, there should be sand, everywhere is cemented. Like that is a pet peeve of mine. So that may be one thing you want to consider. Where are they going to play? Where are they going to run about? For the creches and the nurseries too, one thing that you can also consider is like also space, but also what they play with, what is available for them to play with, so that's also another thing that you should consider. The next thing is class size. Now, I know that over the past few years, or more than the past few years, a lot of parents are, or at least in Ghana too, are moving towards schools with smaller class sizes, so that each student has the attention of the teacher, ample attention of the teacher. So like class sizes of like maybe not more than 12, or not more than 15, or not more than 20. Some of us, the schools we attended, my JSS class, I think we were 54 in the class. I think it was either SSS was 47. JSS, I think we were 52 or 54 in the class. Primary, I don't remember, probably like 30 something in the class, I guess, or 40, I don't know. But now a lot of parents want smaller class sizes. So if that is your goal, or if that is your preference, then you should also look out for that. So when you go, you ask them what's the average number of students per class, so that you know that your child will get enough attention from the teacher when they are being taught and they're trying to understand something, or they are working on something in class. So that's another thing you may want to consider. Another thing you may want to consider is the options for feeding. Now, the reason why I say that is because I feel like feeding, if they have options for providing snacks and lunches, that will save a lot of time. So now there are some nursery schools that I know that they provide breakfast and lunch, so you pay for that. Where Seram goes, they only provide lunch, so that's what we pay for. You have to give your child a snack when they are going to school. There are some schools that provide breakfast, snack, and lunch, so you can choose to opt for that. So I think that that's something that you should also consider, at least at the early stages. At the later stages, I know that some schools they have vendors in the school, so you just give your kid money to buy lunch, or there are no vendors but the school doesn't provide lunch, so you have to always be packing lunch and snacks for your kid to go to school. So that's also something you may want to consider, so that you're saving yourself time in the morning. Because if I had to be packing lunch for Seram, that would just give me more work. So I'm glad that I don't have to think about lunch for him anymore, except for on the weekends. All I need to do is provide him with breakfast, which is not difficult because we have so many options of cereals in the house that he likes, and then I just need to provide him with his snack. Now, one final thing that I think is important for you to consider is the opening and closing time of the school. Right now, I am at the stage of creche, And so you know, the crashes, some of them close at 3. But yesterday I was having this discussion with some colleagues, and we're talking about how right now the competition is high. So I had seen a school that had popped up near my son's school, and there is a crash and nursery, and their opening time is 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. So when I said this, one of my colleagues was very shocked. He was like, 10 p.m. I was like, yes, because you have to consider those who work in corporate, like the bankers. If you are working as a banker, and maybe let's say you live at Shalibuche, your office is at Ridge, or your office is at, I don't know, at Abraka, that's quite a distance you are traveling to work. So, and you know that the bankers don't close early, so you need a school. And if you don't have, let's say you don't have a nanny, or you don't have a spouse who has an easier, more flexible work schedule, that you know that he can go and pick up the kid, you know, or he or she can go and pick up the kid, or you don't have a nanny or somebody who can pick up the kid in the afternoon when school has closed, then those options of 10 p.m. works best for them. So they would go and pick up their kid when they close at 8 p.m. you know, and that's really sad, because it's like you barely get to spend time with your kid. You get home, off to bed, in the morning you're off again. So anyway, so the opening and closing time is very important. I know that some schools, let's say if they close at 3, maybe they give you an extension until, let's say, 5. If every 30 minutes after that is a charge of maybe 20 cedis or 25 cedis or 30 cedis. So some of them charge a late pickup fee if you come and pick up your kid late from school. So that's also another thing you may want to consider. My Niger sister, her channel name is Parenting on the Go. Over the past week, she uploaded a story time about why she had to change her kid's school, and then just yesterday she posted a video about how factors you should look out for if you need to change your kid's school. And I think that those were very valid points that she talked about. So I'm going to leave a link to her channel and that particular video so that you watch it, because you need to be very that thing always scares me, but you need to be very vigilant with your kids and watch their behavior when you pick them up from school, when you take them to school. So it's normal for kids to cry when they've just started school. You give them about 2-3 weeks to adjust. But a very close friend of mine was telling me that she sent her kid to a certain school, and every day for 2 months she would cry when you go and drop her off. When you go and pick her up, she's crying. When she sees two particular teachers, she cries, like she doesn't want to go to them. That is a red flag. So you need to observe. You have to be observant with your kids' cues and their behavior when you drop them off from school, when you pick them up, to just see if things, you know, something is fishy. If you have to change schools, you have to ask questions, you know. So like I said, I'll leave a link to that video in the description box. Go and check that out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next video.